I mean, I do so much with not just markets, but with local foods. And it's a daily thing. I mean, it impacts a lot of what I do, from my teaching to, consumption, to the people that I know and work with. It's just kind of an all-consuming kind of participation, right? I really conceive of not just markets, but as local foods as, social movements. And we live these movements, every day, the things that we do, the choices that we make. So it's just kind of an omnipresent thing in our life, our family life, and professional lives too. It's just part of what we do. My name is Ron Rich. I am an anthropologist. I teach at Eastern Michigan University. I've been involved with, well, I couldn't tell you how long it's been for farmers markets and the food communities here in Ypsi, but it's been, about a decade now, at least, since I've kind of started doing a little bit of research and kind of built up my research interest in local foods and our local food communities here in the Ypsi Ann Arbor area. So I work with a number of different producers in our area. I've worked at farmers markets as a vendor. I have attended farmers markets for years, bought things at farmers markets, as consumers, and so contributed in lots of different ways. I am having students in one of my classes now are volunteering here at Growing Hope for the Ypsi area online market. We do an applied anthropology course, and I focus that around our local food community here. And so students we're collecting data now from one of our CSA farms in the area. And so students are working on papers and contributing to, as they volunteer here, contributing to just the whole movement here in Ypsi. Promoting student involvement, when I teach about local foods, it's always to get students to realize that there are local food communities. I mean, that's one of the things I find in my teaching, that students just aren't aware that these networks exist. And they might hear farmers markets, but farmers markets are just kind of one node in a much larger network, a much larger kind of local food system. And so I try to get students to understand that there are these larger networks, that we can feed ourselves and do feed ourselves through these networks. And so I just want students to be more aware that these networks exist, that they are viable networks. And then I want them to participate in those. This is a little community service. It's a little bit of understanding how these networks function. So they get to meet producers, they get to meet vendors, they get to meet the folks here at Growing Hope who run the markets. So they contribute, right? They give a little bit back, and that's how anthropology works. For us, is we contribute to the research that we do, and then what we get back is the information and the experience from doing that research. So I want students to know that these networks exist, that they're viable, and I want them to be able to give back to those networks. I think that all community members can do themselves a great service by participating more in local foods. And by doing themselves a service, right, to getting out of conventional foods a little bit more, they're helping local communities. When we do research on our CSA and farmers market customers, we ask them, why are you involved in the CSA? Why are you come to the farmers market? And the most frequent response is to help local foods, farmers, and farming. And that's by far and away the most common response. So this is all about community building. It's all about bringing local foods that have a much lower footprint than conventional foods do. And so I would like those conventional food consumers to just take a chance, if you will, right? And go to the farmers market, seek out alternative food sources, and just try it, right? And see what happens.